Brothers and sisters in Christ, an overwhelming event shook the foundations of Medjugorje last month as the visionary Mirjana witnessed a manifestation of the Virgin Mary unlike anything recorded in modern times. The revelations concerning February 2026 triggered a seismic alert in congregations across the planet, as on December 2, 2025, a supernatural glow flooded Mirjana's prayer room at approximately 2:40 p.m. The air suddenly froze, ignoring the heat of the heaters, while pilgrims were seized by an invisible force that propelled them to the ground in profound adoration. In that sacred instant, human understanding of the world's destiny changed forever when the Queen of Heaven appeared, her face bathed in tears, holding a golden rosary that gleamed with divine clarity. Her face alternated between boundless affection and heart-wrenching anguish as she dictated details about the phenomena that would unfold in the coming weeks of February. Mirjana emphasizes that these are not predictions for a distant future, but rather urgent warnings about what the human race will face in the imminent future. The priest reported that the seer emerged from the trance in a state of absolute shock, with trembling hands, breaking her usual silence immediately. Such was the weight of the message received. The Blessed Virgin declared that February 2026 will serve as the definitive watershed moment where neutrality will cease to exist and each conscience will be compelled to define its eternal loyalty through an intimate clash with the naked truth that will destroy all the masks we use to deceive ourselves. What makes this account terrifying is its surgical precision, as the Mother of God abandoned vague metaphors to stipulate exact deadlines of days and weeks, as if paradise itself were tearing the veil that separates us from eternity. Behind-the-scenes information confirms that Mary described a global awakening of consciousness that will affect every living being simultaneously, without distinction of creed or origin, allowing humanity to see itself through the eyes of the Creator in a single transformative second. For those living in moral darkness, this light will be like the fire of the abyss itself, while the righteous will feel a celestial ecstasy. But the vast mass of lukewarm people will oscillate between terror and relief upon realizing how close they were to ultimate damnation. Mary's tears were not composed of water, but rather of a substance that carried the weight of a mother's pain watching her children walk towards the precipice, ignoring all signs of rescue. The impact of this universal shock will change the face of the earth, leading desperate multitudes to confessionals and filling temples that were previously abandoned and silent. However, there is a grim warning that many hearts will become even more arid, trying to explain the miracle as a collective outburst or psychological failure, preferring rebellion to redemption. The signs of this great illumination are already teeming around us with intense natural catastrophes and political and economic systems crumbling under the weight of their own corruption. The ethical fabric of the world is fraying where the sacred is a laughingstock and virtue has been replaced by pride and unbridled vice. The call of Medjugorje now echoes as the last sign that the clock of mercy is about to stop to give way to the time of divine justice. And my beloved children, draw near with open hearts and attentive spirits. I speak to you as a mother who watches over, who observes every step of her children, and who silently feels the pains and distractions that have led so many astray from the path of God's presence. I do not speak to you to cause fear, but to awaken your souls, for the time demands vigilance, discernment, and a firm heart, and I warn you, my children, to prepare yourselves, not for despair, nor for restlessness, but for inner firmness. Many walk distracted, trusting only in the securities of this world, and forget to strengthen their faith, to care for their spiritual life, to remain in the presence of the Lord. Thus, when trials come, the heart falters, hope weakens, and the soul feels lost. Do not allow this to happen to you. To prepare is to turn your heart to God every day. It is to recognize how far you have strayed, how much you have neglected prayer, silence, and inner listening. How many of you live a life distant from the paths of presence, too occupied with what passes, forgetting what remains. I call you, with a mother's love, to return to the essential, to rebuild what has been abandoned, to strengthen what is fragile. Be firm, my children, not only when all is calm, but above all when the world tries to steal your peace. Firmness is born of lived faith, of trust placed in God even when one does not understand what is happening. It is not a superficial faith, but a faith that sustains, that guides, that illuminates decisions and strengthens heart in difficult times. remain in the presence of God. It is there that you will find refuge, clarity, and strength. When you are in the presence of the Lord, you are not caught by surprise, for your soul learns to recognize the signs, to discern the paths, and to remain standing even in the midst of storms. The presence of God guards you, teaches you, and prepares you. My children, do not delay this return any longer. God's love awaits you, but it is necessary to take concrete steps, abandon what separates you, and choose, every day, to live in faith. I walk with you, I intercede for you, and I guide you with tenderness, but remember, it is necessary to respond to this call with a sincere and determined heart. Have faith, my children, a living, constant, and persevering faith. It is she who will sustain you, who will give you strength, and who will keep you firm in the presence of God, today and always. My dear children, stay with me a little longer and listen attentively, for what I tell you comes from the love of a mother who knows the heart of each one. I speak to you with sweetness, but also with truth, because the love that protects is the same love that warns. Many do not realize it, but these times demand an awakened heart, a mature faith, and a life rooted in the presence of God. I call you not to live superficially. There are many who say they believe, but live as if God were distant, as if His presence were not necessary in their daily lives. The heart has become accustomed to the noise of the world, to constant distractions, to worries that steal inner silence. Thus, the soul weakens without realizing it, and when trials come, there is no strength to remain standing. My children, to prepare is to care for the soul while there is still time. Do not wait for difficulties to become greater before seeking God. Do not wait for pain to force you to look upwards. Preparation begins now, in the simple, in the everyday, in the silent decision to return to the paths of His presence. It is there that faith is strengthened and the heart learns to trust. How many of you live restless, anguished, confused, because you have distanced yourselves from the source that gives life? You try to fill the void with fleeting things, but your heart remains thirsty. Nothing in this world can take the place of God. Only in His presence does the soul find rest, clarity, and direction. I ask you, return, not with fear, but with humility. Acknowledge your weaknesses and allow God to rebuild what has been wounded. Be firm, my children. Firmness is not born of rigidity, but of trust. A firm heart is one that, even shaken, does not give up. Even tired, does not abandon faith. Even wounded, does not close itself to God's love. This steadfastness is built day by day, when you choose to remain faithful even without seeing immediate results. I warn you not to be caught off guard spiritually. Do not allow faith to fall asleep. Do not allow discouragement, indifference, or sin to become a natural part of your life. When the heart distances itself from the presence of God, everything becomes confused, and the soul loses discernment. But when you return, even with small steps, the light shines again. My children, live with your gaze fixed on what is essential. The world offers you many promises, but few of them bring true peace. Do not surrender your soul to what passes, to what deceives, to what weakens the spirit. Strengthen your faith, cultivate good, choose what edifies, and distance yourselves from what separates you from God. I am with you, walking beside you, sustaining you in moments of weakness and guiding you with tenderness. But remember, the path of faith demands decision. God does not force anyone's heart. He expects a free and sincere response. Today, I call you to that response. Have faith, my children, a living, conscious, and persevering faith. May it be your anchor in difficult days, your light in moments of darkness, and your strength when everything seems too heavy. Remain in the presence of God, for in it you will be strengthened, protected, and prepared for all that is to come. I call you to prayer not as a burden, but as a refuge. Pray, my children, because it is in prayer that the soul is strengthened, the mind is calmed, and the heart learns to remain in the presence of God, even when the world becomes confusing. Do not allow the world to enter your home. Many open the doors without realizing it, letting restlessness, division, selfishness, and indifference take the place of peace. The home was created to be a shelter, a place of love, inner silence, and divine presence. When the world dominates the heart, it weakens faith, cools love, and steals hope. Guard your homes with vigilance and discernment. I reveal this warning to you not to cause fear, but to save you from all evil that silently infiltrates. Evil rarely presents itself clearly. It enters through small concessions, constant distractions, lack of prayer, and the loss of the sacred in daily life. When the heart ceases to watch, it becomes vulnerable. Therefore, I call upon you, be attentive, be firm, be persevering. Pray, my children, when all is well, and also when all seems too heavy. Prayer sustains the home, protects families, and strengthens the faith that many have allowed to weaken. How many live today without direction because they have distanced themselves from the presence of God and trusted only in their own strength? Without prayer, the heart grows weary. With prayer, it finds rest. Do not allow the noise of the world to drown out the voice of God in your home. Choose what enters through your eyes, your ears, and your thoughts. What you nurture within your home shapes the spirit of those who live there. Be responsible for what you cultivate, for the heart absorbs everything, even that which seems small. My children, this is a time of return, a return to the simplicity of faith, to true trust, to the constant presence of God in your lives. Do not harden your hearts. Do not delay this decision any longer. I warn you because I love you, and true love does not remain silent in the face of danger. Remain steadfast even when you are few, even when you are misunderstood. Faithfulness to God has never been an easy path, but it has always been a safe one. He who remains in his presence is not defeated, even amidst trials. I walk with you, I intercede for you, and I cover you with my maternal care. Heed this warning with humility, strengthen your faith, and protect your homes. Thus you will be guarded, sustained, and led away from all evil, remaining in the light and peace that come from God. My beloved children, remain in inner silence and listen with your hearts. For I speak to you as a mother who observes the world and sees how many my children are tired, confused, and spiritually vulnerable. I call you to prayer because it is in prayer that the soul is strengthened and the door is closed to everything that seeks to steal your peace. Pray, my children, not only with words, but with your lives, with attitudes, with choices that reflect the presence of God in your homes. Do not allow the world to enter your home without discernment. The world often presents itself with promises of ease, pleasure, and freedom, but it leaves deep wounds in the heart and distances families from the divine presence. When the world governs the home, love weakens, respect is lost, and faith grows cold. Guard your homes as a treasure, for there the heart is formed, there one learns to love, and there God desires to dwell. I reveal this warning to you because I see dangers that many ignore. Evil does not enter abruptly. It infiltrates slowly, through indifference, lack of prayer, loss of the fear of God, and the normalization of what wounds the soul. When one is not vigilant, the heart becomes accustomed to what distances it from the light, and faith gradually fades. Therefore I tell you, be vigilant, be attentive, be steadfast. Pray, my children, that your homes may be places of peace and not of conflict, places of hope and not of discouragement, places where the presence of God is felt even in silence. A home protected by faith becomes a refuge amidst the chaos of the world. Even if storms rage outside, within there will be firmness, trust, and love. I warn you to save yourselves from all evil, for a mother does not remain silent when she sees her children in danger. Many have opened breaches without realizing it, allowing division, pride, unforgiveness, and spiritual coldness to take root in their lives. These breaches weaken spiritual protection and make the heart vulnerable. Close these doors with faith, with vigilance, and with a life turned towards God. My children, do not neglect the value of silence, presence, and inner listening. The world keeps you busy so that you do not realize how far you have strayed from what is essential. But God calls you back, with patience and mercy, waiting for you to take a sincere step towards Him. This return begins within your home, in the care you cultivate, in the love lived daily, and in the faith put into practice. Be steadfast even when you are contradicted, even when you are misunderstood. Fidelity to God will not always be the easiest choice, but it will always be the safest. Whoever protects their home with faith will not be abandoned, for divine grace sustains those who remain faithful. I am with you, interceding, caring for, and guiding every step of those who heed this call. Receive this warning as an act of love, not as a threat. Strengthen your faith, protect your homes, and choose to remain in God's presence. Thus, even in difficult times, you will be guarded, strengthened, and led away from all evil, walking in the light, peace, and hope that come from above. Approach without fear, without masks, without justifications. I know your struggles, your falls, and also the sincere desire that many carry in their hearts to remain faithful, even amidst weaknesses. I call you to prayer, my children, because it is in prayer that the heart remains vigilant. Pray that you may not fall into the traps of Satan, which are subtle, silent, and often disguised as good things. He does not always present himself clearly, but infiltrates through distractions, pride, spiritual indifference, loss of faith, and distance from the presence of God. When the heart ceases to be vigilant, it becomes vulnerable. Come to me, my children, when you feel weak, confused, or tempted to give up. Do not walk alone. Do not rely solely on your own strength. Prayer strengthens you, clarifies your mind, and sustains your soul in moments when the world tries to lead you astray from the path of light. A heart that prays learns to discern, learns to recognize what comes from God and what leads to the loss of peace. I ask you, have faith, not a superficial faith, sustained only by words, but a living faith, manifested in daily choices, in renouncing what separates you from God, and in trust even when everything seems difficult. Faith is your protection, your spiritual armor, your strength in days of trial. Without it, the heart weakens. With it, it remains standing. Satan seeks to confuse, divide, and discourage. He wants you to become accustomed to error, to accept sin as something normal, to lose the fear of God and the love for truth. Therefore, I tell you, watch. Do not allow evil to find space in your thoughts, in your words, and in your attitudes. An attentive heart is not easily deceived. My children, remain firm even when you are tested. Temptations are not a sign of abandonment, but opportunities to strengthen faith when faced with trust in God. Do not be discouraged by falls. Rise with humility and return to the path. God's love is greater than your weaknesses. Come to me and let yourselves be guided. I walk with you, I intercede for you, and I enfold you with my maternal care. Heed this call with sincerity and resolve. Pray, watch, and have faith. Thus, you will not be overcome by the snares of evil, but will remain firm in the light, protected by God's presence and strengthened by the faith that saves and sustains. My beloved children, draw even closer and listen with open hearts. For I speak to you as a mother who knows the silent battles of every soul. Come to me when you feel weak, when faith seems heavy, and when the world confuses you with its contradictory voices. I welcome you, not to judge, but to tenderly guide you along the path that leads to true life. I call you to prayer, my children, because it is in prayer that the heart remains awake and protected. Pray that you may not fall into Satan's traps, which do not always present themselves as something clearly evil, but as easy shortcuts, comfortable justifications, and seemingly harmless choices. He knows human weaknesses and tries to exploit them, slowly distancing you from God's presence. When one does not pray, discernment is lost. When one does not watch, the heart becomes vulnerable. Come to me, my children, before spiritual weariness makes you. Many have lived with a weakened faith, sustained only by outward habits, while their inner selves remain empty. Prayer rekindles the flame that seemed almost extinguished. It strengthens the soul, brings clarity to thoughts, and restores the peace that the world cannot offer. I warn you because I love you. I see how many have been seduced by pride, self-sufficiency, and the illusion that they can walk alone. Satan takes advantage of this false security to distance hearts from humility and trust in God. He wants you to forget who you are, to lose the sense of faith, and to accept darkness as something normal. Do not allow this, my children. Have faith even when you do not understand God's ways. True faith does not depend on visible signs, but on a deep trust that remains even in aridity. It sustains you in your falls, strengthens you in trials, and lifts you up when discouragement tries to dominate your heart. A faith lived with sincerity becomes a fortress against all evil. Watch over your thoughts, for it is there that many traps begin. What is nourished in the mind sooner or later descends to the heart. Choose what edifies, reject what confuses, distance yourselves from what steals your peace. A vigilant heart, sustained by prayer, is not easily deceived. My children, do not fear the struggles, but do not face them without God. Prayer does not exempt you from trials, but it gives you strength to overcome them without losing faith. When you pray, you learn to trust. When you trust, you are not defeated. Even if you stumble, rise with humility and resume your journey, for God's love is greater than any fall. Come to me whenever you feel threatened, confused, or tempted to give up. I walk with you, I intercede for you, and I guide you with patience. Do not stray from the faith, do not harden your hearts, and do not neglect prayer. This is the time to remain steadfast, to choose the light, and to trust. Pray, watch, and have faith, my children. Thus, you will not be trapped by the snares of evil, but will remain strengthened in the presence of God, sustained by faith, and guarded by the love that never abandons you. My beloved children, look into your hearts with sincerity and humility. How many of you have lived a life marked by sin, confusion, and self-destruction, without realizing how much this has wounded your own souls? I speak to you as a mother who suffers to see her children straying from the light, choosing paths that lead neither to peace nor to true life. How many of us, my children, have lived far from God's divine paths, far from His presence, far from the truth, far from the love that saves and restores? Many have become accustomed to error, normalized sin, and begun to live as if God were distant or indifferent. But God never abandons Himself. It is the human heart that distances itself when it ceases to love, to trust, and to seek. In light of this, I tell you, have faith. Not a weak faith, sustained only by words, but a faith that awakens, that recognizes its own misery and yet trusts in divine mercy. Faith is the first step towards return. Even when the soul is wounded, weary, or lost, faith opens the way to healing and restoration. Do not condemn yourselves, my children, but neither do you remain where you are. Sin destroys silently, steals peace, weakens the spirit, and distances the heart from God. Many live restless lives because they have strayed from the source of life. The world promises happiness but delivers emptiness. It promises freedom but generates inner slavery. Only God can fill what the world can never reach. I call you to recognize how far you have strayed, not to humiliate you, but to set you free. God does not reject a repentant heart. He welcomes it, heals it, and renews it. Even if the path has been long and full of falls, there is always an open door for return. That door is faith. Have faith, my children, even when you feel shame, fear, or discouragement. Faith lifts you up when all seems lost. It gives you the courage to abandon what destroys and choose the divine paths again. Do not think it is too late. While there is life, there is opportunity for conversion and a new beginning. I walk with you on this return. I do not leave you alone in your struggles, but it is necessary to decide, to break with what separates you from God and to choose, day after day, to live according to the light. The divine path demands effort, but it leads to a peace that the world cannot offer. My children, awaken. Do not live any longer in the darkness of sin and destruction. Turn your hearts to God, strengthen your faith, and allow Him to transform your lives. Even amidst weaknesses, choose to trust. Faith will lead you back to the divine paths, where the soul finds rest, meaning, and true hope. How many of you have lived a life marked by sin, inner confusion, and silent self-destruction? Many follow paths that wound their own souls, believing that there is still time, that nothing serious is happening. when, in truth, the heart hardens and the presence of God is forgotten. How many of us, my children, have lived far from God's divine paths, far from the truth that liberates, far from the love that restores, far from the light that gives meaning to life? The world offers easy shortcuts, empty promises, and fleeting illusions, and many allow themselves to be led astray by these false securities. Thus, sin ceases to be seen as a wound and begins to be treated as something common, acceptable, normal. But it continues to destroy even when ignored. I speak to you as a mother who knows the weight you carry in your hearts. I see how many live restless, without peace, trying to fill the void with things that do not satisfy. The soul misses God, even when the mind tries to deny it. No one strays from the divine paths without suffering the inner consequences of this estrangement. Deep sadness, constant fear, and lack of hope are signs of a heart distant from His presence. In light of this, my children, I tell you, have faith. Faith is the bridge that leads you back to the path when everything seems lost. Even when life has been marked by wrong choices, faith opens a new possibility. It does not erase the past, but transforms the future. She doesn't deny the falls, but gives strength to get up and start again. Don't let the weight of guilt paralyze you. God does not desire your condemnation, but your return. Many remain in error not for lack of God's love, but for lack of trust in divine mercy. They think they have gone too far, that there is no way back. This does not come from God. While the heart still beats, there is hope. There is the possibility of transformation. Recognize, my children, how far you have strayed. To recognize is not to accuse yourselves endlessly, but to admit the truth with humility. The heart that recognizes its misery opens itself to grace. Pride closes doors. Humility allows God to enter and heal what has been wounded. It is in this sincere recognition that faith begins to grow again. How many live today destroying themselves, without realizing that they are seeking love, meaning, and peace in the wrong places? Sin promises immediate relief, but leaves deep scars. Only God can restore what has been broken. Only in divine ways does the soul find true rest. Have faith, my children, even if the return seems difficult.